So anyways, I'm so excited that you guys are on. Carmen, you look a little different this evening for some reason. All right. So briefly, I text Kimberly was it Monday night after we got back, and I was like, I want to do the call this week because I was very, very, very fired up after our Super Saturday event. How many of you guys went to Super Saturday? Can you guys hear me at all? Everything just got really quiet. Okay. So I think everybody that just raised their hand was most of the people that were in DC, but I hope, Carmen, that yours was spectacular. Dre, did you go with Carmen? Yeah. You guys are okay. So anyways, I just briefly wanted to talk to you guys about really the importance of getting to events like those and like the retreat that we set up. This was the first one of many, 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 I'm sure. I think it personally went really, really well, especially for the first time that we did one. But just the power in those rooms when you're in there and you're doing the training and hearing people's stories is absolutely amazing to me. There was a girl named Laura that was at ours and told her story of being a stroke survivor and how the doctor told her that she probably was going to walk with a limp and that she was only going to get back to like 65% of what she was before. And she started out working with T25 as soon as the doctor cleared her. And she is just an amazing story. It really, I was shocked and amazed by it. So anyhow, and I really just wanted to kind of go around. I was going to call everybody out. Yep. Love you guys, all that were there, to see what your biggest takeaways were, because I think that we had some really, really, really awesome trainings or some awesome people that were at our Super Saturday event. And I just want to really hear what everybody's favorites were and then talk a little bit more about mine. But Colleen, you're the first one in my window over there, so I'm going to start with you.
Hi, everybody. I guess I would you might not know this, but I was pretty emotional, inside during the retreat, just because, it was my second one, and the first one I didn't even want to go to because I was so nervous to meet everybody, and then the next time I was, so excited. But I think my biggest takeaway is just the community that we have, because I don't know, I don't want to say it's hard, but sometimes it's hard to find people who understand what you're going through. And even though none of us have had a stroke, seeing Laura talk about her, her journey and her story was so inspiring, and it really made me come back and think about it put things in perspective, and that's what Super Saturday does. I feel it puts everything in perspective, and I think there's a reason why it's quarterly, and because you need that extra kind of reminder sometimes as to why you're doing this, and also being around the other women on the team who have been successful, and maybe they're people who aren't as successful or are just in the same line of success, or wherever you are in your business, there's always somebody that is the same. And we always say don't compare yourself, but it's really hard, especially when you have people who are they all have different strengths. Some people really like to talk in public, and other people are really good about sharing their story. There's just so many things that you want to compare yourself to and think that, oh, maybe I should be doing this, or maybe I was doing that wrong. But everybody's there to tell you that there's no right or wrong way to do it. And it's really just about you and how, you make everything work for yourself. So that, I don't even know if that's a takeaway, but that's kind of just how I feel about it.
If you took it away, it's a takeaway, baby girl. I think that's great. That's awesome. Crystal, do you want to share with us? Are you prepped enough to be able to share with us your takeaways from Super Saturday? I'm going to keep muting because my baby is crying in the background. I'm guessing you guys can hear that.
Yeah, I can go next. I took a lot of weight. I've done a few Super Saturdays here in Colorado, but I've never gone to an event with like people I know. So it was really awesome for me. I'm really glad that I went ahead and did it. I mean, it was one of those decisions that on one of our team calls in the last like 2 months, I just all of a sudden bought my ticket and went. Just totally went for it. I really liked, to piggyback on what Megan said about like how, or I can't remember if it was Megan or Colleen, sorry, on how it's not hard. Like it is hard because it's challenging in that you have to be consistent and you have to be self-disciplined, but compared to so many other things out there, it's not hard. It's sending an invite, it's getting over your fears. And to me, that was like, oh, you're right, it's not. I'm just being a baby about it and I don't want to do it. So that kind of really hit me. And for those of you that weren't there, like I'm going through a lot personally with my wedding planning and being there surrounded by, sorry, I'm getting all emotional. Being there surrounded by so many people who just care so much about you and about this business and about helping people was really life-changing. And while all this other shit, like crap, sorry, like is going on in my life, like I know that I have you guys there and I know that I can call you if something's going on. And I know that I have to keep my why in my forefront and continuing to pursue this business, even in these times that are really hard for me, is what's going to get me to a place where I'm where I want to be. And just being surrounded by all those people was amazing. And like Megan said, everybody has a story, and whether you think your story is great or not, like it matters to someone. Because I had to speak after the stroke survivor who shared her story to this group of 50 people. And I was like, I can't follow that up. I just wanted to lose weight and look good, you know? So it was just the fact that I did share my story, and I was a teacher and there had been several other teachers in the room. And I mean, somebody is going to connect to you no matter what your story is or how crappy you think it is. Because I was like, well, I don't really have a good why or a good story. Like, I just want to have babies and stay home with them and help people with their goals. And so, I mean, those were my biggest takeaways. So
love them. And don't you ever think for a second that staying home with your babies is not super important.
No, I mean, it is important, but compared to some of the other things that people said, I was like,
very true, very true. We had, I think I posted this in the team page yesterday, but we had Miguel Carrasco. I don't know if that's
Miguel
how you say his name
Carrasco
or not. But, and he really, 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 everything that he said stuck out to me. He went on to talk about Martin Luther King and everything that he went through to go out there and have all those people come be in DC and be a part of all of that, and how hard it must have been for him to overcome that. And then he was telling some stuff about Oprah that I did not even know, like saying that she overcame being raped repeatedly by friends and family when she was younger. And, you know, for her, it was difficult to overcome all of that to be where she is today. And that, and then Laura telling her stroke story. And like Crystal just said, for anybody to say, oh my gosh, it's too hard to send an invite out, when you think about what all those other people have been through, it seems silly. Like, it's all relative. We have to take that into account when we're going out to send an invite. We can't have fear in us and think, oh, I can't send this to them because they're going to think I'm silly, or whatever it is you might think, that whatever your fear might be in sending that message out, we have to put those aside and know that it could be a lot worse. What you're doing could be a lot harder than it actually is. Brenda, do you want to share some takeaways? Is your volume working?
I don't know. Is it working? I think Crystal wanted to say something though.
Oh, to piggyback off of what Megan said with the Oprah, was that Oprah said, the struggle of my life created empathy. I could relate to pain, being abandoned, having people not love me. And then he went on to say, happen to life, don't let life happen to you. And that's kind of what Oprah had done. And that's why it was good for her. So just to piggyback on you, Megan.
Well, to piggyback on what Crystal's saying, as far as to happen to life and not let life happen to you. Um, for me, I think from my personal experience with the retreat weekend was one, having the honor of Kimberly recognizing me and wanting me to speak at the event. For me in my life, I don't feel like I need to be heard. Like, I don't think people really want to hear what I have to say, and it doesn't have much value when they listen. I feel like I'm kind of ignored a lot. So that meant a lot to me to be able to do that. For those who weren't there, totally cried in the beginning of it, but that's okay. And the thing is that a year ago when I first started and I went to that retreat, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know anyone. I barely knew Megan still, and we went together. I mean, we lived down the street from each other, but we didn't know each other that well yet, you know? And so it was a crazy experience that year. And for me to just go through that, take from it and leave from there believing myself, but still having to learn and still having to grow and still having to face tons of fears. All I can say is if I could go there this year and do what I did and be welcomed back into the arms of so many people I met a year ago and hadn't seen for a year was amazing to me. It's like, oh my gosh, I actually matter to somebody that's not family. Do you know what I mean? Like, I have a whole new family in Beachbody, and that's something every single one of you can have if you just dig in and be a part of it. Keep showing up for the meetings and keep going to the events. Just talk to each other on the team pages and stuff. Like, I think that's really important. That's the kind of things that made me start to be able to connect with other people, and everybody here can do too. Afterwards, for me, people that came up to talk to me after I took the time to talk and to connect and share their personal stories, that was like just that much more motivation for me to keep doing what I'm doing and be who I am. Like, every single one of us has something special to contribute to the lives of everybody here and all of our challengers. And so it's just really important to just keep showing up. Just show up. It doesn't matter what you're doing in your business, with your business, just keep showing up. That's really all I can say.
Love it. Yes, for sure. Give it a year. Commit to at least a year. Adrienne, do you want to share anything from Super Saturday that you took away?
Sure. My biggest takeaway was posting about the coaching opportunity, how your page should be kind of like a mini coaching at a glance for people just to look at and to feel more comfortable with it without having to ask anything, or, you know, when you go to ask them if they want to give it a shot or check it out, they're more comfortable saying yes. And I forget what the other one was. Basically, you should write down the objections that you get when it comes to coaching or challenges or whatever, and make a post about them every single day. Post about your coaching, what you do, the objections that you get, and how you overcame them, and it will make people feel more comfortable and, you know, kind of give you a little bit more credibility, I guess. That's what I've been trying to do this week. So far, so good.
I love it. Yes. What Adrienne is talking about, we had Bonnie Engel, who is number 5 in the company, spoke at our Super Saturday, and she basically was talking about social media the entire time. And I love what Adrienne was just saying, that she was talking about making sure that you're posting about the coaching opportunity on a daily basis on your page. And that doesn't mean putting a post up that says, hey, do you want to join my team? No, you're just going to use something like, I think that you probably, if you guys have been looking at anybody that was at the retreat this weekend's page, you will see something similar to what we're talking about. Just sharing like how amazing it is to be able to go to these events and meet these people and be a part of this family. Because there's somebody out there guaranteed that needs that family, that needs to see that that's what we're doing. And when you're showing them that, they already have an idea of what's going on, so that when you do invite them to the coaching at a glance, they know that, you know, hey, I do want to be a part of this family. Or if they're super sapphire personality, I want to go party with those girls. Whatever it is that's going to get them there. but you just want to be posting about that on your page. And I love what she said about, like Adrienne just said, combating objections before they even have a chance to get to that objection. You've already worked against it on your page. You've already talked about it. So that's not something that, you've already disarmed that objection. You can move on to another one, whatever else they may have. Kimberly, do you have anything that you wanted to share as you're studying your notes so faithfully?
I'm taking notes. But that was my biggest takeaway as well, was from Bonnie Engel. So just to go along with what they were saying, like, I'm going to find the video. I think there's a video of her at the event, like on YouTube somewhere. I know someone took a video of it. But, so that was my biggest takeaway when she said, like, you should be posting about the coaching opportunity on your page daily. Like, I was like, what? Like, I might post, we have coaching at a glance like once a month. Like, that doesn't mean I only invite to coaching once a month. But when she really got into it, I was like, it's not salesy. It's not, it's not even asking to do coaching at a glance. It's just sharing like what coaching is doing for you today. So when you really stop and think about the 3 reasons that we invite to coaching, or that someone can benefit from coaching, it's 1, this community, which you've heard several times tonight. It's 2, support and accountability in their own weight loss journey. So someone that does have a good amount of weight to lose might not think that they can be a coach, but it might be the best thing for them to be surrounded by this and people that are going through it or have gone through it, and meet the type of people that you meet on the retreats. And, Erin Booker was there on our retreat, and Erin's a friend of mine that I have met through Beachbody, and she's lost 300 pounds, but she doesn't have this stereotypical, like, this is what a Beachbody coach looks like. Like, she breaks those away, and she still has weight to lose, and she's still on a big journey, but she's come so far, but this group gives her the accountability she needs to keep on going and connecting with people that, have been where she was, where she is now, and where she wants to be. So that, and then, so that's what I'm saying, like an example of me posting maybe tomorrow with a picture with me and Erin and saying, this is why I love being a Beachbody coach, is the community and the events and the people that I meet. And one of them's Erin, and she loves and needs this community. She needs this for the support and accountability. So you're posting about coaching, like, into people's minds, like, okay, you could be a coach just for support and accountability. You can be a coach just for the community. And the 3rd one is financial. Like, you have to start putting that in there. And I don't care if it's your first paycheck or your first cycle bonus, like, that's a good post. It's like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm having fun. I'm helping people. My first challenger lost 10 pounds. Got this check. When I got my first check, I was like, what is this? I don't even know I got paid for this. This is awesome. So, like, sharing stuff like that, though, is, and then you see bigger coaches share bigger numbers, and sometimes I hold myself back from being like, well, I don't make 6 figures, so, like, does it not sound as impressive? So a lot of times I say I make a full-time income staying at home working part-time hours, because I know people that don't make $30,000 or $40,000 a year, and I do. So I should be more comfortable maybe not putting the number, but just letting people know, like, financially. But it can start off really small, guys. Like, I was talking to someone at lunch today, Hillary, about, like, this doesn't, not everyone wants to come into this and make 6 figures or believes that they can do that. But some people want to make a couple extra $100 so that they, don't feel bad about getting their hair done or their nails done or getting a massage or going out to eat with friends, or they need a date night and this will pay for it. they need help with making their car payment. Like, it grows. Like, I remember when I first started, we were going to Disney. Started really coaching in May, and we were going to Disney in October. And I was like, oh, it would be great to like pay for this trip. And if you've been to Disney, you know, it's an expensive trip. So I started to save for that. But those are the things you have to share. Like, thanks to Beachbody, I helped pay for this vacation. So those are the things that she meant like sprinkling in. But that was a big aha moment to me, to start sharing that support, that accountability, the community, and finances. And then what Megan said too about overcoming objections. So I wrote down the common objections, guys, that you guys get. Write those down. Like, I think time, money, I don't like sales, like off the top of my head. So what kind of post can you put in there? Like, Carmen, you know, like, time is a big issue for her, but you have to put out there that, you know, a lot of people think that they don't have time to do what I do as a coach. Like, and I am a full-time mom. I'm a full-time job. Like, we have a busy schedule, and I still make it work, and I still am earning enough to pay for my daughter's dance or whatever it is, you know, like, you're able to put all that in there. And then if someone's watching you and seeing that, when you do go to invite them to Coaching at a Glance, it's harder for them to say, like, I don't have time, because you're showing that you can do this without a lot of time. Or I don't want to make the investment. Like, you're showing that you make back your investment, or you're showing clever ways to where you save money. Like, I show people how I save money. I said to someone today, I was like, listen, if I go to, usually my example is Chick-fil-A, because if I take my kids through Chick-fil-A drive-through, 3 boys, and you know mama's going to get some fries. Just kidding. But if I go through the drive-through, it's like $30 at least, maybe $35. And in my head, I'm in this mode where I'm like, that's how much Shakeology is a week, $35. Like, I just spent it in the drive-through. I'm sure I could have gone home and like made them a turkey sandwich or something for $1, you know, like, I know it can be done. So I went to, took them to Yogurtini, like a Sweet Frog yogurt place the other day. And we go on Monday or Tuesdays because they have happy hour, which means it's half off. So that's the only days we go. Because half off, it was still like $13. So it would have been $26. Pretty much a week of Shakeology. Like, there's all these things people are spending money on. And see, now that I'm saying it out loud, I'm like, that's a great post. Like, I need to write this down and be like, this is where we're spending our money, people. And it's just making your butt bigger. Like, stop. Go get a bag of Shakeology. Like, stop spending at Chick-fil-A. Stop spending at Yogurtini. Like, we can do other stuff with our kids. I just use examples that I do with my kids, but I do them less. And I really did them less when I first started, because I wasn't making an income like this when I first started. I was no different than anyone just starting. I was like, I will spend $140. But then when I looked at what I spent on like wine, honestly, and like eating out, or, you know, eating out's not as bad as like when you're drinking out. Like, it's just so much money. So you just become more aware of those things and are comfortable talking about them with people. But that was my big takeaway, is to start sharing that more on social media, not even like waiting for the objection in the messages, like overcome that, like in the way that we present ourselves on social media. That was it.
Love it. Krista. Sarah, you're a trip. Can you imagine how much money I've saved this month by not drinking? Well, to the girl that the first time I saw her on a Zoom chat had a glass of wine, I can only imagine. All right, Krista. Can you get in here? No? Yes.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here. Can you hear me? Okay. Sorry, I'm like cleaning up dinner. So we're talking about our takeaways from this weekend. I think everyone kind of touched on most of what I took away from this weekend, but the one thing that I think I took away the most, I mean, I took away a lot of stuff this weekend, especially posting in my business, but I took away a lot of personal things as well. Things that I can do, and I share with Kimberly, like I I wanted to take away and start working on like more personal goals. I think things that are personal for me, but then would help me grow my business in the long run. And one of the things that we did, that exercise, the visualization exercise, that was like a really, like, I like got goosebumps and tears in my eyes. Like the story wasn't even about me. Like it had nothing to do with anything that I mean, nothing. And I'm like, got tears in my eyes and I got goosebumps and I'm like, holy crap. So I think that in itself was a big thing, because I think if you continue to visualize something and you have it in front of you all the time, it's a constant reminder of where you want to be. And I mean, I think kind of all use stuff like that, you know, when we follow people, especially like on our fitness journey, like when you have someone that you know, like, man, I wish I would look like that, you know, or like, those are my goals. And you keep that in front of you as a reminder of what you want. So I really liked that visualization exercise, and I would really love to implement that every day. And it took away something that Crystal had in one of our talks about the Post-it notes and Post-it noting her goals everywhere. Because I feel like that, you know, and I think we talked about that when it went with the visualization, and I brought home a thing of sticky notes from work. Shh, don't tell anybody. I'm in charge of supplies, so no one knows. But I told Kimberly, I was like, I'm going to start Post-it noting everywhere, because I feel like it's kind of like when I make my list. When I make a list or when I write on the calendar that's sitting there, I see it and I know it and I remember it. And there's so much going on in our life that it's so easy to put that stuff and forget about it. So with the visualization and having Post-it notes, and one of my Post-it notes is going to be to remember to take 5 minutes and visualize in the shower in the morning, because that's my goal. So just, I think that was one of my biggest takeaways from this, is more on a personal level that I feel like will help me grow, you know, my business as well. Because I think sometimes you have to just start back at, you know, the bottom and work your way back up, you know, work on you first before you can really jump into the business and do what you need to do for everybody else. Because I think I got lost for a little while, trying to do too much for everybody else, that everything else that was important to me kind of got pushed to the wayside. So I wanted to take it back to that. And that was my big takeaway, I think, from this weekend.
Yes, I love it. Love it. I love it. Does anybody that was not at the retreat want to share anything from what they got from the Super Saturday? No one? No one. Okay. Well, one more thing that I just wanted to go back into, when Kim was saying about Erin and Erin having lost 300 pounds. If you guys have huh?
I think Carmen was going to talk.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Carmen.
Now she doesn't want to. Carmen, tell us what you learned.
I don't know if my voice, can you hear me?
It is, yes.
Oh, shoot. I had something all set out to talk about. No, I'm just kidding. So this is the third one I was at in the Phoenix area, and yay, Chris is with me. Unfortunately, Dre had a family event she couldn't make it to, but other than the time before this, Carl spoke, and that was great. But other than that, I feel like this one I got the most out of. For some random reason, I too was emotional. I don't know if Chris, I don't know if you saw me, but I at some points was closing my eyes because I'm like, why am I crying? Why am I crying? I don't know if it's just, I'm just so ready to just take off, and I just need a change so badly. And, you know, I've been working on this for, you know, over a year now, which is great, but I'm just, now I kind of feel like this is it. This is my year. And I really liked the girls that put it on here. I felt that they were there to just kind of, this new for them. They hadn't hosted anything yet before, and they were just really excited about it, and you can feel their energy. They also shared a lot of great tips where I was like, oh, that's a great idea. And one thing they said, oh, gosh, where is it? I just closed this. They were talking about personal development and how they share in their groups what they're reading in their challenge groups, and we don't really do that a lot, and I thought that was great. I'm like, that's a great idea, to get people involved with that. And one thing that really stuck out with me, I think everyone knows, or at least most people know, that I'm in this because I want to stop working my 8-to-5 job. And so a lot of times this becomes a money thing for me. Yes, I love it. Yes, it holds me accountable, and I'm obsessed with all the products. But during sitting there through everybody talking, I was like, I just need to focus on helping people. I'm good about the money thing, and I want to focus on helping people. And I can tell you that this week, that was my focus. And even though I've had no's, and of course we all have no's, I didn't beat myself up about it. I wasn't just really mad and just pissed off because I've asked this 10 times and whatever. And I was like, forget it. I'm just going to work on helping people. And in turn, I think that will be huge for my business. That was my biggest takeaway.
That's great. And just to piggyback on that, we had Carl at ours this time, and it's funny, out of all of our takeaways, no one mentioned what Carl said. Like, that wasn't the biggest takeaways. But I will say, now that you spoke, Carmen, is that that was what Carl's speech was about. It was not a long speech. He didn't have a long time to talk, and Autumn was there as well. But my main takeaway from Carl was, like, we are here to help people. And we don't all have a pearl personality where we're here to save the whales and save the world and do all this. But when you get down to it, like, if that is your motivation, you're going to go so much further in this business than if you're here for money. You won't be here in a year. I don't care if you're starting now or have been here a year already. You will not be here another year if that is your focus, because it's too difficult sometimes. And it is, Carl didn't say it then, but he has said, like, it can feel like, volunteer work when you're not getting paid to constantly help people. But that's really what we're here for. Like, that's what the company's really about, is helping people achieve their goals, whether that's losing weight or financial freedom. Like, there's a ton of goals we can help people, like just with what Krista said. I mean, there's a lot of personal goals we can help each other with, and help our coaches with. Like, not every coach that you bring on is going to want to make $1 million. Like, that's not going to be their motivation. So you have to keep that in mind. But if you help other people meet their goals, you will meet your goals. But I think that's a great takeaway, Carmen.
And just what I started to say, every year, every event, everything that we go to, it never ceases to amaze me that there are so many different shapes and sizes and different types of people, different types of personalities. Like, this business isn't about just everybody being a stick figure. Matter of fact, I think on our team, there's really not many of us that are already at our goal weight. We can't all be Brenda and just be done and just maintaining. So I love just seeing that there's always somebody there that's going through what you're going through, whether, it's another mom that's there breastfeeding like I was doing in the middle of the event, or, it's somebody that you see, that you meet, that has lost 300 pounds, or a stroke survivor that might speak to you because you have family that went through it and you don't want to go there, or because you've been through that yourself. Whatever it is, there's always somebody that you can connect with. And that's why I love these events, because we get there and you see all these people and you get to know all these people that you wouldn't have known otherwise. Contrary to popular belief, Kimberly and I met after she had that exact same sweatshirt on a Zoom chat, and I sent her a message and I said, "Oh, did you go to Virginia Tech?" And she said, "No, my husband did." And I was like, "Oh, so did mine." And that's how we ended up chatting, and it turned into this whole running our team together and getting to know all of you amazing people. And that just speaks to me that you can go to these events and do stuff like that. And one of the biggest things that I know that we talked about at the retreat is that it's so much bigger than that. And it really is. Like, it's not just about weight loss. it's like Kim said, it's about the community. It's about the support and accountability. It's about helping yourself reach financial freedom and helping your family get there. And all of that to me is just so mind-blowing, that you go and you meet these people and they've gone through something like you, similar. Like Crystal can go and she can see Amy, and Amy was a teacher and Crystal's a teacher, and Amy can be like somebody that Crystal can look up to because she knows that's what she wants to do. She wants to be able to retire from teaching and stay home with her kids. And that's amazing to me. So now she has somebody that, you know, if things get rough, she can talk to about it. She can see what that person thinks. And that's, I mean, people meet push partners at these events. People meet, it's just so many different things that you could meet people about that just don't necessarily have anything to do with Beachbody and what Beachbody has done for you. So it's just, to me, it's just really, really important to get to these events and get to meet people like that. And don't just get there and just go sit in the corner and not speak to anybody, or go and sit with the people that you already know and not give yourself the opportunity to meet somebody that could change your life. Because for me, knowing Laura's story now and her starting T25 after the stroke, like, I wish I would try to tell myself I can't get up and do a workout this week after having met her, because I have absolutely no excuse to not get up and do it when she could barely walk down the hall, but she was in there modifying what Tanya, the modifier, was doing. So there's always somewhere you can start, always somewhere you can go with it. And that to me is just insanely amazing. Kimberly, Miss Talkative, you have anything else? We have 1 minute and 51 seconds left. I know you got something, girl. Laura is my hero too.
Not talking that much.
No, you did great. I'm just messing with you.
FYI, I muted myself a lot. Thank you very much. No, we only have 1 minute left, but I kind of just wanted to do some bookkeeping items as far as talking about events. So we should all look at kind of where the next Super Saturday is and figure out if any of us want to team up and go together. So we should make that a priority to get the schedule in there. And you must sign up for Punta Cana on the 19th. We are going on the Coral Wave. There's 2 choices. You need to pick the Coral Wave. Fingers crossed it's not sold out when you get on, so you can start registering. It's 9 a.m. Pacific, so 12 Eastern. I would get on a little early and just be ready to go. I did mine today. I got to register early, but it wasn't hard. It was like, you know, you need the number of your emergency contact, and then you're going to write in your number and your guest number, your guest name. If your guest name changes, it's not a big deal, but just put who you think your guest will be, because when you earn the trip, you earn it for 2 people. So if your, husband doesn't want to go with you, you can bring another coach. You might end up bringing a coach that's not even on your team yet. You have no idea who you're going to bring. So just sign up. It will be so much fun. You have all year to earn it. Every single person can earn it for free. I have earned